And welcome back to another exciting episode of Kicking It with Keisha&K.C. I'm Casey. That's Keisha.
Right, now I want to laugh. Okay, I'm Keisha. Hey, everybody.
And tonight's episode is very personal. We have a special guest here. We have Nevi.
Hi.
Nevi is a...
I'm a limited licensed master social worker. So it's LLMSW.
Yes. Okay. And she is here because I want to discuss a topic that is personal to me. However, I'm not ashamed of it. As I talk with more and more people, I'm finding that a lot of people is going through this. And tonight we are discussing anxiety. What brought this about was the doctor is trying to tell me that I suffer from anxiety, but I'm like, I'm not anxious about anything, you know? So I'm like, where's all of this anxiety coming from? I've learned to cope with it. I refuse to let it win. And I think this is something that I think this show will be beneficial to a few different people, and they don't have to be ashamed of it. Everybody, and I'm not going to say everybody, but adults and kids suffer from anxiety, and I just want to discuss that. I had been going back and forth to the doctor or whatever because I was having chest pains or whatever, and I'm like, this is like unusual. And so she's like, I went and I had, she did like a MRI. She did a CAT scan. She's like, nothing is wrong. She's like, you have anxiety. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
Because remember I told you that I'm like, my asthma was acting up or whatever. So I started doing more research and figuring out, different ways to cope with it or whatever. And I was like, at first I was kind of embarrassed, but that day that we went and we were feeding the community that day, and the young man was talking about how he has anxiety, and I was listening to him talk about how he had went to get help for it from, I forget the name of the place.
At the
the wellness center or something like that. He said he went and he was trying to get help for it, and they were just treating him as if he was like crazy or just a homeless person on the street without any help, and he didn't appreciate it. And I'm like, wow, like the more I talk to people, the more people I learn like they have anxiety too. So I just wanted to discuss that to let other people know, like, you're not alone. You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be embarrassed. Nevi, can you just describe anxiety, the meaning and everything like that?
Okay, so anxiety is pretty much just worrying about different things and stuff like that. But everybody has anxiety. If you're a human being, you have some level of anxiety. Having anxiety is not necessarily an issue. It's literally how we deal with anxiety. If it's overwhelming, if we're not able to live life on life terms, if we are not functioning, say for instance, if you're not able to get out of the bed, or if you're not able to do proper hygiene, like brush teeth, wash your face, get throughout the day. If you wake up in the morning and you feel like you have like a boulder on your shoulders and so much pressure, that you may be experiencing anxiety disorder. And there's so many. We won't get into how many there are and different right now, but there's a lot. But everyone has a level of anxiety, and I always give this example. For example, say for instance, you're at the corner, you have to cross the street, right? And we have to look both ways before we cross the street.
Right.
If you didn't have any level of anxiety at all, technically you'd be kind of like a psychopath, but that's another thing. But anxiety say, hey, we might be in danger. Let's look and see what's going on. A car might be coming or something like that. That alerts you almost like a traffic signal. We have the green light, the red light, the yellow light. Anxiety is like caution light. Like we have to look around and see if we're in danger, things like that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to have anxiety. Everyone has it. It's the level of it, pretty much.
And how you handle it.
It's the level of it. Or am I worrying all the time? And anxiety is a spectrum. And I'm explaining what I mean by a spectrum. So say, for instance, you might be having heart palpitations or sweats, panic attacks. You can't really breathe. You feel like you're having a heart attack. You feel like there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, on your chest, stuff like that. That's one level of anxiety, which a lot of people feel like that's what they have. The other end of anxiety is procrastination, or where we just can't get out of the bed. We feel like we're depressed because it may mimic depression, but you really are experiencing anxiety. It's like you're so overwhelmed, you have so many things to do, but nothing gets done. That's anxiety that you are experiencing, just a higher level of it. So I always try to explain that spectrum. Where we want to be at, we want to be in the middle. When things happen for us, we're able to cope with it, manage it, and still live life on life terms. So that's like a general overview of where you want to be. You want to be in the middle. You don't want to be on one end. You don't want to be on the end. That means you have some type of disorder. But in the middle, we can manage with life and things like that.
Okay.
So,
go ahead, Keisha.
I was going to say, how does somebody differentiate between the two if, like you said, you wake up and it's like a procrastination? How do you know when it's anxiety versus depression?
Okay, so anxiety versus depression. Depression is like, you want to think of more of like your mood.
Okay.
So you might be like, I'm on top of the world. I feel so great. Everything is wonderful. And if you like that and you like on a 10,000, you might be experiencing like manic mode. You're in manic mode. Where you are in hypomanic mode, which is depressed, which is I'm sad all of the time, or I'm down all of the time, but nothing is necessarily bothering you. When you have anxiety, which may kind of mimic depression, you are worried about every single thing all of the time. Like I'm scared of everything, or I'm worried about things. I have a lot of pressure, too much things I got to do, things like that. You might be able to identify it that way. A difference between, okay, I have anxiety and depression. Can you have both? Yes. So you can have both. But you may not have depression. You may just have anxiety. And you may just be dealing with that.
Well, let me describe it how it is for me. Like, I can be looking at TV and all of a sudden my heart will start racing. And I'm just like, what in the heck is going on? And at first it was freaking me out, like, oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack.
Right.
Like what is going on? But then I would like calm myself down. And then once my heart starts racing, it's like it starts to trigger my asthma. And I would find that I couldn't breathe or whatever. So I would have to, hit the inhaler and stuff like that. But I've learned to cope with it. One thing, me and my dad, we were talking, and he was like, sometimes down in the bottom of your stomach, you have, you want to push down there to probably get that air that's down there. It could be like some bad air, to get that to come up, to give more air to your heart. So,
I don't know. I just picture some poops coming out or something. You just pushing out.
Or the bad air.
Just farting or something. Yeah. I don't know. That just made me laugh out loud. Damn.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just I've tried deep breathing exercises that always help me, and essential oils. Like I have eucalyptus oil around the house. Like if I grab it and I start to smell it, it's like it calmed me down. And or either I just rub it like on my shoulders or something like that, so I can constantly inhale it. A eucalyptus, peppermint, or either lavender. I'll put lavender in the humidifier before I go to bed to fall asleep easier. But do I take medicine for it? No. Nothing.
Okay. So let's talk about meds for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Because there's a lot of stigma against medication and things like that. Because people's like, oh, you take the crazy medicine, or you get a crazy check, or whatever the case may be. And that's not even necessarily the case. Sometimes you may need medication. Now, I don't prescribe medication because I'm not a doctor, but I diagnose and I refer over to a psychiatrist about meds. And so I'm glad you talked about that, because I want to bring up the bad experience possibly your friend could have had, the guy that you met at the place or whatever. A lot of times when people have never been to any type of, this is their first time reaching out for help, I just need help, something's going on, and they go to a clinic, sometimes they'll see a psychiatrist first. Sometimes they see a social worker or a case manager to see what's going on. They refer them to the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist is a doctor. They're MD. They went to school to treat. So basically, you look at them like they're a regular old doctor. Like if you go to your primary care doctor and you have knee pain, for example, the doctor will say, "What's going on? My knee hurts." Okay, let's look at the knee. Let's diagnose you have arthritis. Let me write you a script. That's literally what a psychiatrist does. They diagnose and they treat. So it may seem kind of cold. They didn't really listen to me. I have problems. They didn't help me work through nothing. They didn't teach me anything because that's not what they're going to do. They're the doctor. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. Should they be more personable? Yes, they should be. They should teach that in medical school. Some of them get it, but that's just because they have a good personality or it might be bubbly, whatever case may be. But most doctors are just straight to the point. And a lot of people get scared because it's like, they didn't really help me with nothing. They just want to push meds on me type of thing. Mm-hmm. And I wish there was a difference. I wish they would actually explain that. So a psychiatrist does that, and then they have a psychologist. So a psychologist works for like behavioral changes and things like that. You may get a 2-for-1er with them. They may be an MD and a psychologist. And so they might can diagnose, treat, and give you meds if you need meds. But they also work on behavioral changes and things like that. So they will do that with you. So then you have the therapists and the counselors and stuff like that. That's when you go and actually get coping strategies, you learn coping skills, you learn life skills, you learn social skills, you learn all the things the tools that you take with you. And when I see my young kids, I see 13 and up. And so I kind of like refer to like Dora, because Dora, they still know who Dora is. So you have like the backpack and they pull out the stuff when you need it. That's literally what the coping skills and strategies and all the things that we teach. You pull it out your backpack when you need to use it. So it's like an intervention plan type of thing. So that's what we do. But we do diagnose if someone either comes in the door with a diagnosis, or if they don't have a diagnosis, we'll diagnose. If we see that they need higher levels of care, we will refer out. So that's what I do pretty much. Okay. But I always like to educate about what the different levels are, because your friend, the guy that you met, may have experienced that, and I just hate when that happens, because then most of the time they say, you know what, I'm out, I'm not coming back, and they don't get the support that they need. You know, and I like to use, I think I was sharing with you when we talked briefly, I was like, I like to use the word support and not help, because the word help makes me feel like something's wrong with me, I'm broken, feel sorry for me, and woe is me. And I like to use the word support instead, because everybody can use support. It doesn't matter if it's long term, short term, and you know, you may just need it for a little while. Right. And so I like to use that word instead of help, because it's better. Right.
And if you really think about it, when somebody says support to you, it's like you are opening up to them, and it just means so much more. As to where if somebody say, can I help you? It's like somebody is feeling weak or vulnerable.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You already at a weak,
comforting.
Yes. Right. You already at a weak point. The fact that you even reached out for help, I'm at my bottom. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I want you to actually support me in the things that I need. And so that's why I use that term instead of help. Right. Plus, people have like a warped definition of help. Some people think help is free, and I don't work for free. I volunteer, but I don't work for free. And then people have another definition of help is do it for me. And when I see my clients, I teach, I educate, I support, because that's what we need. So you can use the tools. I want you to be free without me. That's why they laugh when I say that. But I want to work myself out of a job type of thing. Yeah. I want you to go and be free and use the tools that you learn so you can live your life. You know, some people need it long term, and that's understandable. That's what I'm here for. But the goal is to, you know, help you support you and reach your goals and reaching your goals. And so yeah.
So what advice, like, there are a lot of parents that deal with children that have anxiety, but they don't recognize that it's anxiety. They just think their child is acting out sometime when they really having an episode. Like, how can they differentiate, or what advice do you give to them to try to recognize the difference of their child acting out and their child actually experiencing anxiety on these different occasions?
Okay, so that's like a really good question, great question, wonderful question, but it's so loaded. And so I'm gonna try to break it down a little bit so it won't be like too long. So basically, when I see my kids, like I said, I see 13 up, I choose not to see the itty bitty babies. One, because it's so hard, because I want to take them home and save them all, and you can't do that. And so I chose not to go that route. But when I tell my teenagers is, when you're living in an environment where you cannot control, because you don't pay the bills, you don't control where you live, you don't control who go to the grocery store, what you get, You don't control most of the time clothes you wear. Your parents pretty much tell you where to go, what to do, and if you don't have a car, you don't drive. You go wherever they take you, type of thing. You can feel out of control a lot, and then they want you to stay in control, and that's very hard. Then you have expectations that your parents have set on you. Go to school, get good grades, do the chores. You still got homework. If you have extracurricular stuff, you still gotta do that. And now I'm listing all these things, and you just a kid. Now, parents have to realize that that's the child's world. So the child doesn't have bills. Of course not. They the kid if they don't have that. So of course they're not paying the bills. Of course they don't have the adult things that you have to deal with. But guess what? They still have to face the consequences of the adults in the household. So the adults not paying the rent, the adults can't pay whatever the situation, they can't pay the lights. The child gonna be in the dark too. So now they have to face the consequences of the parents' decisions. And let's be honest, parents don't make the best decisions all the time because guess what? We human too. So now they have to face consequences. They can control their environment. That is a lot of pressure on them. So things to recognize in your child. If your child has been outgoing and then all of a sudden they are withdrawn, or if they've been withdrawn and actually do the opposite of that. If they are hitting others, or if they are hiding food, because that's another thing too. They might hide food, like sneak food, or they might hoard stuff, or they might want to be with you all of the time, like not normal children all the time, like obsessively all of the time, things like that. Or if they normally like to go out and play, but then all of a sudden just they don't want to go outside at all. That's one thing. Also, if you have a child who everything has to be in place all of the time, and if anything is out of place, they lose it. That's another sign of they're dealing with anxiety or some type of something going on. Mostly because they can control their toys. See, they can't control other stuff, but they can control their toys. So if you have a child, everything has a place and everything has to be in place and nothing can be out of order. A lot of people praise that, but that is not good at all. A lot of adults say, "Oh, I'm OCD and blah blah blah." But that is not good because a house is meant to be lived in,
right?
Okay, and a room is meant to be lived in. And so it's going to be messy sometimes. So if you see where it's like Hoarder City, or it's like, it looks like you can lick off the floor, we have problems. That's things you can look out for.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. So your anxiety, you started dealing with it as an adult.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like growing up, I was cool. I can tell you when it kicked in. It's been within the past couple of months that it kicked in. I don't believe that it'll progress and I'll be like, ooh, freaking out, nothing like that. But every now and then it says, hey, you have anxiety.
Now, do you think that coincides like we started the podcast a couple months ago? Is this like any pressure? Or any, okay.
No. Oh, no.
And not even bad pressure, just pressure of just, you
got more stuff
up.
to do.
Yeah.
You got more stuff on your list.
I don't even believe it's that because when I was working at my other job, it was stressful. But now my job is a cakewalk. So I don't know exactly what make it kick in.
So go ahead, finish your sentence.
I just don't know.
Typically when someone comes to me, they like, well, I don't really like you in case. I really don't know where this comes from. It just comes out of blue nowhere. It's typically because we're not dealing with our feelings. So I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Every day, we feel stuff all day long. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like what we consider bad feelings.
Okay.
Right. So feelings are neither good nor bad. I know we say anger typically is a bad one, or jealousy or stuff like that. All those are feelings. But typically we associate those being bad. But feelings are neither good nor bad. It's the behaviors associated with the feelings. So say if somebody says, "Oh, I like your man," I like her boyfriend. I want a boyfriend like that. But then she go take the boyfriend. It's the behavior that's bad, not necessarily the jealousy type of thing. Okay. So there's neither good nor bad when it comes to feelings. But what are you doing with your feelings? Are you suppressing your feelings? Are you acknowledging your feelings? Are you saying how you feel at the moment? Are you taking time for yourself every day to just be yourself and not the roles that we take on? So we take on a lot of roles. We are mother, we are girlfriend, we are co-worker, we are friend, we are aunt, we are whatever, daughter, whatever we are. And those are roles. But when do you take the time to be just Crystal? And you have to take the time to be you every single day. And we don't. We do not put ourselves first because we have been taught that is selfish. But how I distinguish the two is selfish is you're at the top of the list and you're the only one on the list. Putting yourself first is you're at the top of the list and everybody else is on that list too. You have to be on top of that list and you have to put yourself every day. Put yourself first every day. Okay. So what are you doing for yourself, by yourself,
it's hard to do.
Every day? Exactly. It's very hard to do. And so what we do is, so you already kind of on that path with the essential oils and stuff like that. What that does is it brings you centered into the present. So that's why you're able to calm down and things like that, and it really helps you. Because we spend a lot of time beating ourselves up about the past. Oh, I should have did this. I should have made that decision. What if I would have did this? Whatever the case may be, we feel guilty, shame, all those things about how we felt the past. And then we spend so much time worrying about the future. What I'm going to do next week, 2 months from now. What my life is going to be 5 years from now. But guess what? The future hasn't happened yet. You're worried about literally something that doesn't exist. You have to stay in the present. You have to stay. And that is, it takes practice. And you have to do it every single day.
That break was sponsored by Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades is located on
West 8 Mile.
Go by and see them at Ace of Spades. I guarantee you'll have a good time. Okay, so before we took a break, we were discussing like basically the feelings of anxiety.
Yeah, right.
And when you were talking, I was thinking like I do a lot for like a lot of other people, and I never take time to myself. It's like life gets in the way of living kind of thing. So I'm going to start putting more time into me, more alone time. But it's like, how do I do that without feeling selfish?
You allow yourself to feel it.
Okay.
So you're going to feel guilty because guess what? You have a heart. You're not the Tin Man.
Okay.
Because you care about the people, you're going to feel bad that you're not there for other people because you care. So that means that's good. You care. Allow yourself to feel that guilt.
Okay.
It's a normal feeling that comes with that.
I just want my friends and family to know that she said I have a heart. Okay. So I don't want to hear nothing about, Crystal, you're so cold and you don't have no feelings. She said I have one. Okay.
They're going to say those things.
Right.
Because if they're used to you being yes.
No, they're probably, a lot of people, well, it depends on who it is, are used to me like, hell no.
Oh.
No. But then the other half is like, oh my gosh, like, oh, thank you, Crystal, I appreciate it. So I don't know, but I am going to start putting more time into me. And then another thing I think triggers it is me and you had talked about it a little bit is I lost my grandmother, right? And she was one of my biggest supporters, one of my best friends, and I'll admit I never grieved her properly or whatever. I don't allow myself to feel as if she passed away. It feels as if we talked on the phone like a lot because she moved to Alabama. So it feels as if I'm just waiting on her to call me.
Right.
I haven't told myself like she passed away. She's gone. It just feels like I'm waiting on her to call me. And I don't know if I should stop feeling that way and just grieve, cry, and let it go. But I don't know. It's like I can't explain it, really. I'm explaining it the best that I can.
Right. But I understand. The perspective I give to people when they experience a loss is, why do you have to let that person go? You know, I know death is final, but we have to change our perspective on death is a part of life. And because, you know, society, we want to live till we can't type of thing. Or if we want to live, get us so much healthier so we can avoid death. But everybody has to meet that. So if we celebrate the life of the person that we experience that part of our life with, it's easier to be like, okay, they're still a part of me. I still have the memories. I find comfort in that. So you don't necessarily have to say, oh, I have to not think about her anymore or anything. It's going to hurt if you think about the person because the person is physically no longer here. That's, again, you have to allow yourself to feel that hurt. You have to feel the hurt. You have to feel that because the more you feel it, I'll give this example. There was this physical therapist who taught me years ago. I was like really sick to the point where like I was on oxygen. I was in congestive heart failure. I was like really, really sick. Had to walk with a walker. I couldn't walk. It was that bad. And a physical therapist came to my house and was like, listen, I mean, every time I try to do the exercise, I'll be crying, screaming in pain. She said, I've been here 20-something years now. I'm about to tell you something. Follow me. I said, okay, at this point, whatever this lady gonna tell me, I'm ready to listen because I can't deal with it anymore. The pain. She said, the more you move, the less it will hurt. The less you move, the more it will hurt. And I was like, this is crazy. She's crazy. I'm in pain. I just see the tears. How am I supposed to deal with this? She said, listen to me. The more you move, the less it will hurt. The less you move, the more it will hurt. And I started physically moving. And the more I physically moved, the less it did hurt. Eventually, I was in no pain.
Okay.
It wasn't until a couple years later that I started applying that to every other aspect of my life. So I tell people this, the more you allow yourself to feel the pain, the less it's going to hurt. Okay. So you're not letting the love of that person go or the memories of that person go. You're feeling the hurt, you're feeling the loss, and eventually it's going to hurt less. Okay. If you never allow yourself to feel it, because as humans we don't want to feel those things because it sucks, then you're never going to get to the process, and you're never going to. So you're really causing yourself detriment. You're really harming yourself in the present and in the future. You have to allow yourself to feel the pain. It's sad. You miss that person, and it's okay. And you can be happy and live your life and still miss that person, because we can have multiple feelings at the same time. Okay.
Now, moving forward, what's the steps someone should take to get diagnosed, to get some support?
Okay. So what I tell people is, like, a lot of times we feel like, oh, I can't afford therapy, things like that. So there's a lot of places you can go that's like, you can just Google it. I know Google, people say, what, Google? Yes, Google can be your friend. If you don't want to talk to someone, there's text apps you can use, that you can go and you can text someone for support. A lot of people, if you don't have, say with you on state assistance, you literally call, really everybody who has insurance, but you call the back of the number, the number on the card. And when they answer the phone, you say, hey, I'm looking for, mental health, or something with mental health, or I'm having issues. They literally give you a list of people that they pay for you to go to. Any type of insurance. If you are cash paying, you're like, look, I don't have a lot of money. A lot of us, especially me, we have a slide scale. So we may not charge you $150. We might charge you $40. Okay. Just keep in mind that there are different options, but you have to be able to say, hey, no one's going to come knocking on your door unless you have some type of breakdown or something. But typically, no one's coming to your door. You have to be able to say, hey, I need some help. Can someone help me, or can, support me or whatever? Right. So that's one step. So if you have state insurance, call the number on the back of the card. If you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, it doesn't matter what insurance you have. Start there. There's a lot of 1-800 numbers that's for free. You can call. There's a 1-800 number for if you're feeling like you want to, unalive yourself. They got a number for that. If you just want somebody to talk to, there's numbers for that. And there's 1-800 numbers that you literally can type in, Google, it will show up, and you will call. Always start with that. And for the people with insurance, call the back of your number, the card on the number, the number on the back of the card, and they will give you a list, and it'll keep you from searching high and low. And they'll give you a list. They already pay for it, so you already know. Also, tell people this. When I tell my clients, nothing you can say to me will hurt my feelings, because I choose to be in this role. So I may not be the right person for you to talk to. You may want a white person. You may want a man. You may want somebody that's not overweight. I know I'm being very brash, but I'm being honest. Be comfortable. You want to talk to somebody you're comfortable with. You have that option with mental health. You really do. And you say, well, hey, I'm only, because you may not know. You may have experienced trauma with a person. They may have done you wrong. You can't sit in front of that person because it triggers you. Mm-hmm. You may not know. So just speak up and say, hey, I'm not comfortable with that person. Let them know. And they will hopefully support you in finding someone else to talk to. Or when you call a number, say, hey, I only want to talk to a woman. And they will be like, okay, I'll give you a list of women. That's their job. They're supposed to do that.
Okay. All right. So if you're suffering from anxiety, we gave you some tools to help you along the way. And most of all, if someone tells you that they have anxiety, be a listener. Love on them.
Don't judge them.
Yeah, don't judge them. And
be there for them.
Yeah, be there for them.
Sometimes just listen.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just listen.
They may not need no advice or a solution to the problem.
Yeah.
They just may want you just to be a listening ear.
And not just with your adult friends, with your children as well. Yeah. Recognize when they might be having a episode or just experiencing some anxiety. Something could have happened in school that you're not aware of, or just anything. So just pay attention to that and don't always be quick to
yell and scream and punish them and stuff like that. And if they can't tell you, use the words, ask them to draw a picture. Mm-hmm. There's a chart you can pull up on Google, feelings charts. They really work. You can point to the picture of how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. Typically, that's when in the hospital they say on a scale of 1 to 10, put the smiley face with the pain scale. Mm-hmm. They do that with that in the hospital. So the pictures really do help. Okay. So if you can't find your child can't find the words, shoot, if you can't even find the words, Google the feelings charts. There's so many. Mm-hmm. There's over 34,000 documented feelings. Mm. There's a lot of feelings. All right. So Google it. Google the feelings chart. Get the pictures with the smiley faces, whatever, and say, hey, point to how you feel today. The child will point to it.
Okay.
So that'll be a tool as well.
Anything else you want to say, Keisha?
No, that was very interesting. I learned some things. So especially just always taking the time out for me, away from the roles that I play.
Yep.
Yes.
Making sure I keep that self-care first.
Yes. Well, we're going to wrap up our portion of Kicking It with Keisha&K.C. Remember to like and share. If you know somebody that is having trouble with anxiety, share this episode with them. If you want to leave a comment down in the comment sections, type away.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Good night.
Oh yeah, we already on nigga dude, smoking tails and shit. That's how you know real niggas. And like always, shit. Got Steve in the house. And I got two of my super friends. We got DJ Dez over there talking about something over there. And then we got Weegee Tha Hustler. Both of these guys is just super friends. Pay attention. Shit, we gonna kick it with Weegee first. Hey Weegee, tell him man. Just tell him about yourself. Look at him.
Shit. Weegee Tha Hustler, man. AKA your mama's favorite nigga. From Detroit, artist, man. Got my own label, CEO and artist, Hood Committee Music. Currently on tour right now, man. So we just working, man.
Yeah, I be man. I call myself a musical spirit because my dad went platinum. But I ain't getting none of the fucking talent and shit. Like he busted a nut and gave my brother the best talent. Like my brother can draw, pick up a guitar, sing, dance, all that shit. But I watch music. Yeah. And I've been watching it so long that I pay attention to the guys that pound the pavement, that really be, working with, I call it working with the musical spirit. Like, know what they doing.
Yeah.
And I see you be touring, you be hitting all the locations, you be throwing parties, you be throwing concerts, you do it all. Like I ain't even seen you with a restaurant before.
Yeah, I do. I stay busy. That's one of my I don't know, that's one of my habits. Like just to stay super busy to keep my mind off of other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the doctors will tell you it's unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? To keep running. When we got other situations going on. So that's where a lot of my drive come from, just to escape other shit.
Right. That's what's up. I know we was kicking it, you was telling me your mom's is a big influence on you getting back into the music.
Oh yeah, she was the first hustler I know.
Yeah, I
She
know.
was the first hustler for real.
And that's what's up, you know. Prayers you and your family, may she rest in peace.
Oh yeah, definitely,
You know,
definitely.
But special people in our life, when I see things, special people in our life, they just encourage us to go be who we supposed to be, even when we think we are who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know you done worked with some of the good old school artists, like Bone and them. You still cool with them?
Yeah, I'm still the bros, man. I just had an autograph signing with them last week out of Madison Heights at this cannabis spot, and after that we did the concert, and that's my first time sitting in the crowd in over 10 or 12 years at a Bone event.
Oh yeah.
So I took my lady, and that was her first time seeing them perform and all that stuff, and we just was out there vibing. You know what I'm saying? Just with everybody else just vibing. You know what I'm saying? So
you really like family, like you.
Yeah,
way
you know,
back.
I know exactly what songs how they gonna do the song when it come on, who gonna do what ad lib, who gonna do what part. You know, so I'm calling out everything they doing, like we at the basketball game, a wrestling match or something. From the top rope, you know what I'm saying? I'm calling out everything.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? It just be like that, cause you know what I'm saying? Like I was signing them boys. So I was on tour with them for almost a whole year, back and forth.
Being that you to see that era of music, and then you fast forward to what you seeing now, and you pushing your music. Like, do you got a rapper that you like that's out right now? Like you got
I got. It's a lot of different.
Who you get inspired from?
It's a lot of different artists as of late in the last good 4 to 5 years. That's definitely motivational for a cat that's a little older in the game. They want to say, dog, I'm about to get in here and kill this shit. Like my man killing it. I'm gonna go ahead and kill some shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a few artists that's like that right now. And
that popcorn shit be bullshit. That shit is
you know what I'm
saturated.
saying? Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It be some cats that how they doing their thing. I just noticed like how he noticed how cats do their thing with the music. I be noticing little shit, and I be like, yeah, I like dog.
Yeah.
You know, I may not like all his shit, but them 1 or 2 songs I like dog, and I like the way he move. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. So it's like,
we smoking on Bizarro G too.
So it's like, shout out to my nigga Busy. Was on tour with them boys before Toe D12.
Yeah,
so with the old school, like I'm an Easy fan. You know what I'm saying? When they say what's your top 10 rappers, 5 rappers, sometimes depending on what mood I'm in, I throw Easy in my shit. Cause Easy was a rapper that, and people like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I don't care if he didn't write it or not. It's just his whole persona, his whole swagger, how he was doing his thing, made me a fan of Easy. I don't care if he only had one song that was good. I was a fan.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? I was a fan. You feel me? Like Method Man.
The way he did what he did.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was, you know
that's one of my favorite video parts of a rapper when he jumped through that motherfucking screen. So like, yeah, this is the way I know you like it.
You know what I'm saying? So because and then like when we was kicking it early when they was talking about how the West Coast flavor came to Detroit and all that. And when I first started rapping, when I first started rapping, I was like the class clown, the asshole of the crew, asshole of the class. My raps was like about Batman and Robin, and I'm just joking around, talking about somebody's mom and everything when I first started rapping. That's how I started there. When I started seeing classmates like, oh, you doing your thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That energy like, oh yeah, you do it. And I'm like, man, stop playing. Then we had a talent show. And me, some other guys had went up there. I forgot what we was up there doing, but when there ain't nobody write nothing, it was basically freestyle stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You say you been rapping? How long you been rapping?
I've been rapping since I was like 11.
11 years.
Yeah, like 11.
Oh.
And
what tell me this? What do you think? I know like our rappers now, they finally getting some accolades. They you know they starting to look good. Like the Ice Whip Vezos, the other guy, they, you know, Grizzly, man, I'm happy and I'm proud of them, But I still know we blackballed. They don't want to make us back to music mecca again.
I mean, but Detroit artists right now is calling some shots.
Yeah, but they don't want to give. They don't want to give us the green light. It's like, because I feel like this the music making like Motown, you know, on the R&B and the soul. And I'm like, when they gonna let the city turn back into that? Like when my dad came from the Motown era.
The city got a lot to do with that themselves. The city ain't moving like they should as far as with this man, with this young lady, everything. They ain't moving like that. It's all for self right now.
Right. So you saying the city ain't letting this actual artist
the city is holding the city
back?
Could them folks outside the city that can open them doors and get you them bags and them sponsorship endorsements, they looking at these guys, but these guys selfish.
This city never realized the jewel that it is to the industry. They never realized that.
They gotta know, man. This the most specialist city in the world.
People
man.
outside of Detroit
in the world, like
revere Detroit way more than people in Detroit. Please believe that. People all over the world know this is a special place, but people live in this.
Because that's why when you hear people say, I get more love outside of my city.
Man, when
it all goes back to that. I get more love in other people's city and state.
Detroit sound is there.
I've been stuck in this motherfucker.
Other cities trying to get that
I
offbeat
always
sound
say,
that
man, I wish Detroit had a Brooklyn pride.
Eating, you know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, whenever Brooklyn is somewhere, you know, nigga, you feel it.
Shit,
it's in the air. Shit. If a nigga say Brooklyn in the place, it's in the.
I mean, I got a Detroit pride. I won't even wear. I won't even wear no
with the social conscious.
No, I won't even wear
the
social
conscious background that we have and all that. We should be way more. You know, Moss number 1 is here. Niggas should poke their chest out on that alone.
I think
nah, man, we not proud. We don't got Brooklyn pride. You know what I'm saying?
When you look back on our history, though, it's like music and automobiles.
We cleared.
I'm like, dang, who's gonna save us again?
We quick to rep the murder capital shit and we'll whoop your ass and all that, but we don't pride. We don't have pride about our city.
I don't want to say it's the way we were like. Recognized, or you know what I'm saying, bro?
They got us in the K.
It's in our sound.
Yeah,
it's in the way we talk.
It's the people that was before us.
Well, I mean,
when the last time you seen a nigga jit in a video, a Detroit video?
I ain't seen
recently.
it.
I did. I know a guy who do it.
I mean, people who that's their thing, but somebody else giving that light to that culture, part of Detroit culture.
They take all our styles.
And then these record labels ain't signing nobody who ain't coming with their own bag right now. You see the cats is getting signed, they already got money when they get signed.
We get more of our own sound more than ever now, as far as something that you could say, yeah, that's a Detroit sound right there. Before it was a little more.
But now the Detroit sound
like what's hot in the game.
But a lot of people feel like Detroit don't have just one particular sound that you can say, oh, he from Detroit, because Detroit it's a lot of different flavors in Detroit.
Don't I know it?
And they dope.
Coming from
hip
hop shop.
Yeah, I mean even with the
Jay Dilla background, but knowing all the East Side cats and everybody else that was doing it, you can see what's happening. And then the new sound is. So yeah, Detroit is a whole lot of stuff because you still got babies that's from that.
You know what I'm saying? On the West Coast, you know it's a West Coast
at least how Atlanta feel. They let Atlanta feel like, you know, boom, this a moving city. You know, they got Atlanta vibing like all the artists. They let them to be, you know, make money. And people want to move there. Like, you never hear nobody want to say, oh, I want to move to Detroit. Because they ain't made it what we supposed to be.
You got to start all over and get your brand up in that new city.
Unless it's for purchasing property.
There's so many Detroit people in the
It's happening.
Yeah, even the Japanese buying property out there.
Japanese,
yeah, other part gonna be Chinatown.
Yeah, they took it. I always say the yuppies that took downtown and took Michigan Avenue. That's why I won't sell my raggedy ass bills. I'm holding on. I pay my taxes and I go pawn shit to pay my taxes.
Yeah, it's like
I ain't giving up shit.
That's the power.
Yeah, because they want to buy what they done did. See, what people don't understand, I call them the yuppies. The motherfuckers that moving so far out that, you know, that's mud land. we got the best water system. We got the best foundation right here in Detroit.
Sewage system.
They let it all go in decay. Now they selling the shit for cheap. They buy it and then they make it cost so much that we can't afford to live here no more. And that's what I'm scared of. And that's why I'm hoping the musical spirit just boils, because the musical spirit ran this city once. And I'm just hoping it just boss up and give my people enough money again where we just get a stronghold on music, on our property, on our land again.
I think it's up to the individuals.
I mean, we special spirits. This was the slave, the last stop of the slave.
People just gotta link up. They gotta realize
cars, the
what
planes,
they are, and they,
you know what I'm
they're treated as such, man. If you walk past something, it's on the ground, it's of no value. You don't pick it up, it's of no value. If there's some shit that's of value to you, you gonna pick it up. Damn, hold up.
Yeah, but they,
you know what I'm saying? If not, you just gonna keep walking past it or throw it away, whatever. You know what I mean?
Make a person recognize shining.
Yeah,
very hard.
They're treated
and they got us in decay, so they got all our young males and everybody with their head down, and then the guys that's trying to hold their head up and be somebody, you know, they gotta be in fear of the next man trying to just dog them when they don't stay on or get on. You know what I'm saying? Like, a motherfucker don't really want to see you jump on stage and sell 1 million copies. I want to see you jump on stage and sell 1 million copies because I know
as soon as
your money gonna make little black rich.
As soon as you don't know more,
they don't
get all the praise in the world. But as soon as
when you make it, boom. But you know,
man,
But we gotta, I think we gotta start, like, it seems like Atlanta people be rooting for each other. Like, they come out with a song called Squeebity Weebity Doo, Squeebity Weebity Doo, and they'll pump that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, make it sell 1 million copies, put a dance on the motherfucker.
They work with each other.
We want support each other and be like,
selfish, man.
So we can get the money back here. Because, like I keep saying, the yuppies, they want to buy all our land back because, you know, like a nomad. When a nomad, he traveled the whole world. He traveled the land like a goddamn mammal. And when the water dry up over here, he go back to where you know that water at. And we got the best water system. We got these nice brick houses that we can fix up, make look like polo houses. But we got to get the money somehow. I think the music can save us. Because it had us once. And the automobiles had us one. They didn't let the automobiles leave us.
And we got to spend more money in our economy, man. We got to spend more money in our neighborhoods and stuff like that, like hand to hand, like black business to black business, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
The money is paid.
Because
the
in
dollars
Atlanta,
just don't circulate the right way.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
You say the money here.
Niggas make money.
Yeah,
but they did a survey of how long a dollar stay in the black community. It used to stay about 30 years ago. It used to stay in the community about maybe 30, 45 minutes. Now, like 15 minutes. Nigga get on that freeway, go out to the suburbs. That money that was made don't benefit the community no more. That money the niggas make in the hood, niggas make a lot of money. Niggas take a lot from the hood, but that money ain't spent back in the hood. That dollar don't circulate the right way. Niggas will go and spend that money on in Somerset in a minute, and that money ain't none of that money ever see in the community.
Yeah. But just to piggyback off what you said with the Atlanta and Detroit thing, even with the money circulating down there, that's why a lot of them black business that's in Atlanta and on the outskirts is popping because they spending that money.
Yeah, they kids driving Benz. It ain't nothing for you to see them nice cars just floating around.
Yeah, that money circulating.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, down there, a good example of it.
They act like a tribe down there, even though they still maybe got the same bullshit we got, but they act like a tribe. Man, I'm hoping the music save us some shit. I know the automobiles, they done left us. You know, they try to
what they outsource, they want to go to cheap, the sweatshop, cheap route. They want to go overseas and get the...
And that's burning them. That's burning them.
Like Nike.
That's burning them.
Yeah. Like other companies, they want to go to save $1.
But shit.
To that extent.
Everybody go check out Weegee new project he got out.
Yeah, it's Weegee Season. It's available everywhere. We got videos out for it. I dropped the original version last year, and I just dropped the deluxe. So either one of those get you together. So Weegee Season, the deluxe is out right now. The features I got on it got King Diego, Shanice Andrea, Shay Renee, IUR Tizzle, my brother, rest in peace. Let me see.
Shout out your Instagram. Your videos.
Oh yeah, I'm dropping a video every year. Every month this year, man. I've been dropping videos since January 1st. I'm giving y'all a new video every month. That's how many I got in the vault right now and just been sitting on. But yeah, my Instagram WEEGEE_THA_Hustler. So Google me, everything pop up, man.
Keep pounding the pavement, man.
Yes, sir.
Come on my show, man,
Appreciate
and
you,
kick it with me.
Yes, sir.
Everybody else like they want to come kick it with Jay on Nigga News, man. Y'all know we popping that nigga shit. And coming up, we gonna kick it with DJ Dez. Y'all gonna get to learn how super a friend he is too to know in life. Oh yeah, shit. Back on Nigga News, we came to the DJ booth like wicked. We got DJ Dez in the house today. That's another one of my super friends. You know what I'm saying? Man, I think the nigga got Jay-Z number in his phone. I don't know. I want to steal his phone or something. But this is my man. And I'll never steal his phone because I ain't no thief. And, man, I just want to introduce one of my super friends. I think everybody should just know about his show on Twitch. What's up, Dez?
What's up?
Chillin'.
Hey, if you in the music, you in the hip hop, you into that shit, you know this guy. If you not, then you out the loop like a belt, motherfucker.
But really though. This thing get high music.
This shit got salt like a red bottle, salt like a Korean, salt like your grandmama when she in the morning cooking on Sunday. What, man?
The song that hit, our beloved DJs that went on Twitch, they that went on, trying to entertain us at home. So I brought Dez on to tell y'all about some of y'all, like I like to be at the crib with the music playing. You might can't hear it because of the music. That's just nigga shit.
Hip hop.
Hey, Dez. Tell them about your Twitch show.
It's on the Twitch channel.
Right, that turns music down.
It's on the Twitch channel. It's on Dez Andres channel. DEZANDRES. And I play a little bit of everything. It's on Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
What other current projects you got going out there? Like, I know I heard about you went overseas and did some things.
I've been putting out music under Andres, dance music as well as hip hop music, and just working with a lot of different artists. And I've been releasing a lot of different music on vinyl as well as digitally. And since COVID, it's been, I don't know, maybe over 11 or 12 releases or something, but just been using that time wisely to, just to kind of get my mind off the obvious and just, use that time to grind.
Yeah, as far as like your mixtape you got with DJ Butter, like how y'all doing another one, or is that still?
The album Piece of the Action, we were working on the second one. I completed enough work for another project. I don't know if another one's coming out, but we did start working on another one.
Yeah, it was sweet. I liked it. Me and Steve be bumping that in the grow room, getting high and shit.
Hold on, I got a question for this you got slapping right now. You made all this, or is this a sample from somewhere?
This is something I made.
All the instruments?
It's something I chopped up.
Gotcha.
I stemmed it out. I got this app that allows me to stem out songs and separate the parts.
For those that don't know what stem out means.
Stems are parts of a song. Like
Gotcha.
the vocal, the bass, the drum, whatever else. Like if somebody wanted you to do remix of a song, you would need stems or parts.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Parts
more than a DJ. You make music. You're a producer.
Yeah, I'm a musician, producer.
Hold on, let me ask. KC gonna get mad at me. I ain't even supposed to.
You know what I'm saying? Anything progressive, like, you know, people taking shit to the next level. I appreciate that. You know?
How you like that Bizarro G? That's Bizarro G strand. Bizarro, you know, hey, I know you know, hey, Jay, moving all slow shit, man. Your strand is coming. I'm letting them test it now. Everybody testing it. That Bizarro G strand coming. We're gonna run across the whole United States in the cup. Yeah.
That is her there. Yes. Shorty be kicking that shit. She's hard with that shit. Shay Noor. I know her. Yeah, man. She rap with Griselda. She spits fire. Dialin. Spot fire. She spits hot shit. I promise you.
We ain't got that much time because, you know, we on the time schedule with the cameraman and shit. That's just nigga shit. But, man, I had to introduce y'all to DJ Dez, man. He ain't even tell y'all, like, man, I get his phone, I run with his phone, I might get some money around this motherfucker.
You want him to tell the people who he know and who he work with?
Nah.
That's what you want to do?
I wanted to introduce everybody to Dez. You know what I'm saying?
Like, tell them who you work with. No, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit.
Great character, super friend. Watch his show on Twitch. You can just let it play on your TV while you chill at home. Take care of the kids, clean up the kitchen and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's nigga news for the day. We out. Hey. Thanks for Weegee Tha Hustler for coming out. You know, he be pounding the motherfucking pavement. Once y'all niggas go download some shit, buy some shit. Help support our community so we can get some little rich families running around this motherfucker. Keep buying this land. Them yuppies buying the motherfucking land. Y'all better pay attention and nigga news.